Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the REC podcast, brought to you by the REC Toycast. I'm your host, Roman Chavez, and with me as always,
Erik Icarus.
Eric.
Yeah.
Continuing the theme of October.
Yes.
In our horror month.
Mm-hmm.
We have something of an interesting tale for you.
Yeah.
I and Eric, we are 35-year-old men.
Yes.
And for the first time, I finished a movie called Event Horizon.
Yes.
Event Horizon is one of the most original, interesting, scary films of all time.
Very true.
It's
it's debatable because I've heard people say this movie's awful.
Really? I've never heard anybody say it was bad. Okay.
Oh yeah, I've heard the other side of this movie, but yeah, I mean I'm with you. It's different.
It's different, and I thought it was just going to be a sci-fi movie. Event Horizon is a film that came out in 1997. Okay, it takes place in space. And it's this very fascinating story. And guys, we're going to talk spoilers. So if you have not seen Event Horizon and you don't want to spoil for you, go ahead and stop it. Go check it out. It is from 97, so it is, it is dated.
A little dated. Yeah.
But we will be talking spoilers.
Yeah.
And the film it's such a fascinating story. It takes place in the year 2047. This kind of salvage crew that you call in when you've got... when nobody else can do it, you call it. They're the A-team of space.
There you go.
Okay?
Yes.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Larry Fishburne.
Good old Larry Fishburne.
My boy Larry Fishburne.
Leads a crew on this ship, and they're going to the outer rim of, Neptune.
Yes.
And they don't know. They were literally pulled off their leave.
Yeah.
Him and his team pulled off their leave, given this government mandate, go out here, take this doctor with you, go out to Neptune. We have the distress signal.
Yes.
So Fishburne and his crew are really irritated with this doctor because they know we have been pulled from our shore leave to do this.
Oh, definitely.
And they only send us when we might not come back.
Right.
So turns out the doctor says, well, we received a distress signal and it's very, very jumbled. And they play it and it sounds terrible. It's screaming, it's static, and there's a little bit of language in there.
Right.
And he says, we intercepted this, and it's from the Event Horizon.
Right.
And everybody on the crew was like, BS, I'm not going, I'm leaving, it's a myth.
Right.
Turns out this boat, or this ship,
right,
the Event Horizon, was an experimental... warp drive's not the right word. Basically, they had this... Samuel plays this doctor, and he had developed a technology that actually folded space.
Right.
So he says, hey... the kind of the public story was that the Event Horizon went dark and we lost it.
Yep. Lost contact.
Years. Turns out, it's not that they lost contact, they lost the ship.
Yes.
They engaged this drive that he made that basically folds space. So instead of a straight line being your fastest point, if you imagine 2 points on a straight line course, but folded that piece of paper and punched a hole through the dots, that would be how you travel.
Right. So it's basically creating tiny wormholes for you to travel through.
It makes an Event Horizon.
Yeah, there you go. And it's bending time and space to get to a certain point.
Yes.
Which, again, we all know that's probably not a good idea.
No. So Samuel had been having these weird dreams.
Yes.
And because his wife was on the Event Horizon, or his girlfriend or something.
Yeah.
And she, he had been having these weird dreams, and it's kind of like the ship's calling to him. Guys, it's this scary movie where it turns out that point, again, spoilers, between the dots is this hell dimension.
Right.
It's just terrible things that go on here. Everybody on the crew, they kill themselves, they kill each other.
It's a blood orgy.
Great.
That's what it is. It just turns into a blood orgy. We see snippets of it.
We do. They board the Event Horizon. There's one frozen body there, and it's just mangled. It's cut up. It's missing its eyes. Terrifying visuals.
Yeah.
And it's just the ship's almost possessed.
Right. It's The Shining in space,
more or less.
With the aliens crew.
Yes. That's a great way to put it.
That's basically what it is. But it's original though.
It's so I've yet to see anything like
right
that.
Because it's got familiar concepts, but in a different venue.
Yes.
And And again, I don't know how real the science talk is, but it sounds feasible.
It sounds feasible enough. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
There you
like
go.
I'm not like, oh, that's bull.
Right.
You know, no,
it's not out
okay.
of the realm of disbelief, because especially nowadays,
yeah,
the stuff we do know about time and space. I mean, it kind of sounds like maybe this could happen eventually. And going back to the negative side of this movie, I've heard that it's dated. The effects are dated, which, yeah, like you said, it's 97.
It's not the worst.
No,
it's not the worst.
And you got to remember, the production crew, they were rushed.
Mm-hmm.
Paul W.S. Anderson, did I get that right?
Paul W.S. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
He was given the script. He wanted to make it. They said, okay, because I think he's coming off of Mortal Kombat at this point. So they're like, but it made money.
You did. It did.
So they're like, okay, well,
and it's not that bad. It's better than
Street Fighter.
It's way better than Street Fighter. Yeah,
right. And so they said, you can make this, and he wanted it to be an R movie. They're like, okay, but you've got this amount of time to do it. So, of course, they're going to cut corners where they can. But once you get past some of the effects, I mean, it's a legitimately creepy movie.
It has a lot of creepy moments in it. And you may be wondering, why, guys?
Yes, why are we talking about this?
Why are you talking about Event Horizon, a movie that is 20...
plus years.
Yeah.
Right.
The reason is, again, this movie came out in 97. We're, roughly 13, 14?
Yep, uh-huh.
We had our friend group had kind of seen this trailer, and I didn't know it was going to be a scary movie. I thought it was just going to be a science fiction film.
Right.
Guys, I started this movie in 1997, and I had never finished it. I got maybe 20 minutes into it. It scared me so bad. And you may be laughing, but man, I thought this thing, it was late. I was watching it by myself.
In the dark.
No. Now, what's funnier is that I've tried to start in this movie several times in my life and have never been able to finish it. It is so creepy, and when I watch it, even the other day when I finished it, it took me back.
Yeah.
To at my dad's house, trying to watch this movie and just being like, dude, that is too scary. It is too scary for me. I was watching it. I had to pause it while I was watching it to watch some YouTube videos to kind of loosen up, just to loosen back up.
Yeah.
And I text Eric after the fact.
It's
I finished Event Horizon at 35. I am now a man. Okay? And it turns out that where I kept wussing out.
Yeah, which part did you stop at? I got to know that.
So in 97, the part I stopped at was when they filtered the video.
Oh, Jesus.
Right when they filtered the video.
So you get to the blood orgy.
I'm out. And I was like, I've never seen anything this intense.
Right.
And I've yet to see anything that intense. It's more intense than the Pinhead stuff, which the Pinhead stuff is gross.
Sure.
But this was even grosser.
Right, and we're only getting snippets.
Yeah. It's just it's this they're recording that they're going to engage.
It's the ship log, basically.
Yeah, the ship's log.
Yeah.
And they're recording, and they go to turn the drive on for the first time, and then just immediately you're just seeing people getting ripped in half, arms going in people's mouths and ripping
other
out.
Places.
It's so brutal.
Yeah.
And that's where I checked out in 97.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, I'm not mentally prepared for this movie.
For sure. Funny enough, you check out, I check in.
Yeah.
And I'm engaged.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
I love this.
Oh.
Okay, so you stopped there in 97, and do you try to watch it a second time?
I try to watch it a second time because I tell you about it.
Right.
And you're like, yeah, I want to catch that movie. And you saw it maybe a few weeks later, maybe a few months later, and you're like, dude, that movie is awesome. You're like, you gotta check this out. Eric's telling me about other parts of it. I'm like, oh, geez, that sounds rough. And it's so I try to watch it again. I probably tried to watch it again a couple of years later, and I just I just wasn't in the mood.
Right.
I was like, and I think I was just scared. And I was just like, yeah, I'm not in the mood for this movie.
Puts you in a weird headspace.
It does, because it is very interesting. Because the ship's really interacting with the crew there. There's a medical tech of some kind, and she was supposed to be going home, and then got rerouted to this, and she has a disabled son.
Right.
And she's seeing her disabled son.
Yeah.
On the ship. Everybody there is hearing voices. They're hearing the ship is trying to get them. It's trying to basically bring them back to engage the drive again, go back to that kind of what we're calling a hell dimension.
Yeah, we'll just call it hell.
Yeah, it's just basically hell.
Is.
Basically, the space between spaces is hell.
Yeah.
And it has got its claws into Sam Neill. Sam Neill's trying to bring all these people back to hell with him.
Right.
And it's brutal. The one bad thing about the movie is that, so like, okay, I'm watching it. I'm finding it to be interesting, and then it just kind of wraps up.
Yeah.
It's not long.
No, it's not.
It's like an hour and 30 minutes, 37 minutes.
And if you're going to tell a story like this, you need at least 2 hours. You need that other 30 minutes to set up some other stuff and pay off some other stuff.
Yes.
But you're right. It gets to a point, and then all of a sudden, Sam Neill and Larry Fishburne have a fist fight.
Yeah.
And
the movie's done.
And it's done. And then it gives you that false ending, that wink ending, like, oh, did this really happen? Did they escape? Wink, wink.
Yeah,
you know, of course, spoilers, duh.
Yeah.
But
we've been talking spoilers, kids. So.
Yeah, but it's just, for a movie that, again, from what I've heard, they had to cut so much out of this because it was coming back NC-17.
Oh, really?
So there was footage exists that a longer blood orgy.
Wow.
More to do with that woman's son. And more going on to Sam Neill.
Okay.
And him pulling his own eyes out.
Yeah.
There's a scene where you actually see him gouge his eyes out and crap like that. And
because we just see him like with the eyes in his hands. Yeah. We actually see him like pulling them out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And honestly, I like his creepy look at the end, where he's just completely scarred up and completely out of his mind. And maybe some of these people were phoning in their performance.
Yeah.
But I think it made it played into what the movie was happening in the movie.
Yeah.
People are losing their minds.
Yeah.
And
Jason Isaacs is in it, as
which
like
is
kind of their
great.
chief medical officer,
Right?
And he's excellent.
Deciphers the Latin, and what they're. We're all just gonna assume that Latin is just hell language.
Yeah. Oh man.
In every movie I've seen, it's just Latin is the hell language. So if you hear Latin,
you gotta go.
You gotta get out of there. Get out quick.
Nobody speaks it. Anybody that speaks it, they're either lying or a demon. Don't talk to them.
They're either a hipster d-bag or they're a demon.
Yeah.
So I'd rather
be a demon
d-bag. Demon d-bag.
And everybody that I've spoken to about this movie loves it.
Right.
They think it's it's probably in their top 3 to 5 favorite horror films, or top 3 to 5 scariest things they've seen movie-wise.
Sure. I mean, there are points in that movie that are absolutely terrifying, but for me, the creepiest thing about the movie is the unknown.
Yeah.
It's what's lurking in the shadows. They have that movie lit so well, and it's so claustrophobic.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes the claustrophobia of Alien and then throws in The Exorcist. Like, okay, we have nowhere to go, and there's hell literally brushing up against us, and that's terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite scene is when that kid, Baby Bear, goes into the airlock.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Like the ship's possessed him.
Yeah.
And he's going to open an airlock with himself in it with no
space suit. Nothing.
And some of the crew are on the outside. The ship had been damaged, so they're trying to repair it. And one of them's the captain, and the people inside are like, yo, they call him Baby Bear. That's like his nickname.
Yeah, I think it's because he's the youngest person there.
And they're like he's gonna open the lock, and he's like telling them like, oh, we're all gonna die, blah, blah, blah. But then he snaps out of it. But he's already engaged the kind of airlock sequence, so it's going to open. And he's like, what are you guys doing? Yeah. He's like, you guys need to let me out. Just like his fear.
Yeah, he played it so well.
So good. He's like, please don't let this happen. Yeah. And it's like, they're just like freaking out because they're about to watch their and like when his veins start to pop, and you hear Lawrence Fishburne be like, hey, it's gonna hurt, but you need to force all the air out of your lungs and close your eyes tight. Yeah. And I mean, he does it, and his eyes just like pop and they're bleeding. Oh. And oh man, it's so insane.
I mean, it's scary. It's scary and it's gruesome, but it is undercut by Larry Fishburne going, "I'm coming, baby bear."
Yeah, he's like flying outside the ship.
My other favorite scene is the other African American fellow who gets kind of pushed away from the ship. Yeah. And he's like, "I'm coming, mother." He's flying back to him.
Yeah, there's a lot of like the people who survive. I don't want to say who survives or who doesn't, but the people who survive in the movie, I'm like, what is the point of this? Right. And again, it wraps up too quickly.
Way too.
It wraps up too quickly. There's a part where a character dies and then is like brought back by the ship. And
right.
It's like, what?
It makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
And again, going to this movie just going in for scares. Yes. Try not to make too much sense of it. Because it really doesn't make any sense.
I think a lot of it does. Like you said, I think they break down the idea of this kind of like black hole generator really well.
That part's cool.
And then visually, I mean, when the girl when they first dock with the Event Horizon, and she's kind of like walking around, and there's like nothing of the crew, but there's like kind of lights flickering, and you see like all the blood on the walls and everything. Like just visually, like I mean, Paul W.S. Anderson is the guy who did all the Resident Evil movies.
Yeah,
He did Alien versus Predator. He did, I don't know, what else? What else you got?
Pompeii.
Pomp 2? I mean, the guy did a...
He's got an interesting catalog. I mean, we can look at his other movies. I wasn't a fan of Mortal Kombat. I was as a teenager. It was what it was. We all liked the game.
I've tried to rewatch it in my 30s, and it's... Yeah.
No, and because it's nothing like the game.
No.
I mean, the guy, Goro looks great.
I was literally just going to say, I think Goro still looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the casting is pretty spot on. But, a game that is played with brutality and fatalities, there are some, but it's
all pretty whack.
It's pretty tame.
Yeah.
And I get it, you're marketing it to teenagers, I understand, but then, we get his Resident Evil franchise, which is just awful.
Yeah.
I mean, the first one has
some good scares. Some of my favorite zombie scary moments are actually, there's like 3 of them.
Right.
From Resident Evil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The dog? Are you doing the dog part?
No, not even the dog part. I'm talking about when they walk by and you see like the body floating in the water, and then as they walk by, then it like puts his hand up on there.
Oh yeah.
When they open the floodgates to like drain all the water out, and then you see in the stainless steel walls, you see the shadows moving.
That is cool.
That's a great scene. And then the broken ankle zombie, where you just hear like the stomp, and then like
the drag,
and because he's got an axe in his hand, the stomp.
Yeah.
Those are 3 of my favorite zombie film moments.
Fair enough.
And honestly, like I think that the dead are really good in there. There's a lot of cool things until like the end, like creatures. I'm not like Resident Evil turns from a zombie game into like a creature game. Really quick, and I don't care for that as much.
Right.
But
what's funny about this on a side note, one of my favorite movies is Lost in Translation.
Okay.
I love that movie, and I remember I'm like, oh my god, this is great. Who directed this? Oh, Paul Anderson. I'm like, the guy who did Mortal Kombat.
But isn't that Paul Thomas Anderson?
Yeah, but they didn't differentiate it back then,
okay.
so that's why he had to go by WS.
Yeah.
Because of
old PTA.
Yeah.
PTA himself.
So I legit thought there was a minute there where I thought,
I agree
the same guy that did Lost in Translation did
Mortal Kombat
and Event Horizon. Like, wow, talk about a total shift.
Yeah, Event Horizon is probably his best film.
Like
by far,
hands down.
And
because AVP sucks.
AVP is better on further review, but it's still not good. I remember hating it the first time I saw it,
right.
But when I watched it again, I was like, man, if they just have more AVP happening, if you just actually have these creatures fight more, like we got it. It's a success, because the idea of like the Mayans or the Incans, whatever it was, because it was like a weird Mayan or Incan temple in the Arctic. Yeah. Which is interesting.
Cool. Very cool.
And that, hey, we willingly give our bodies to the predators so that they can grow the aliens, so that we can fight.
Exactly.
That stuff's cool.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, but they just don't do enough of that.
No.
They only have the one alien and predator fight, and the aliens just destroy them.
Exactly. Like, these are like the worst predators ever.
Ever.
Fail.
There's a sequel book to the movie that's excellent.
Really?
Yeah, like they take Sanaa Lathan's character with them to the predator homeworld.
Right.
And she like goes through the trials to become a predator.
Oh.
Yeah, because like she survives, and they're like, hey, like by our law, you can be a predator if you can survive the trials.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's a very fascinating like idea.
It's cool. Going back to Event Horizon real quick. We talked about this maybe in our last podcast, but I always saw Marvel Ultimate Nightmare as kind of Event Horizon-esque.
Ooh,
when I read Marvel Ultimate Nightmare, it had that same feeling to me. Yeah. That the weird dread that is just completely going on, and not knowing what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. It played it up like that. Yeah. So when I read it, I had this movie in my head the whole time, and. You can laugh at Larry Fishburne's captain chair just swinging like that. I mean, that's just funny. There are things to laugh at in this movie, but if you get engrossed in the atmosphere of this movie,
Yes.
you're going to be terrified.
The atmosphere of this movie is the best part of the film.
It is.
In that it's genuinely creepy.
Yes.
They do some jump scare stuff,
Yeah.
but it's handled really well.
Really good.
It's handled with a lot of like finesse, which is not something that we see in Paul W.S. Anderson. However, the things that were subtle and scary there were also subtle and scary in Resident Evil.
Sure, definitely.
You know, like it was like, oh man, you are on it on a few of these things.
Right.
And you've done some very brilliant, I'll say it, brilliant things with shadow and fear, but then the rest of it's just.
I mean, you know, a broken clock is right twice a day.
That's true.
So
That's
it's just, I mean, I get he's got chops as far as what he does, but we're forgetting his best movie. I don't know why we said Event Horizon is his best movie. It's Soldier.
Yeah, Soldier with
Sorry.
Kurt Russell. And the guy who played Mowgli in Jungle Book in the 90s. Yeah, that's a dang good movie.
I forgot we glossed over that.
Yeah, you gotta remember Soldier.
Soldier.
Shout out to Soldier.
Yeah, Soldier is amazing. I'm gonna watch that tonight.
Dude, that's a good movie.
I'm popping that in tonight.
It's a dang good movie.
And oh man,
have you watched Event Horizon lately?
I have not. I did watch it last year though.
Okay,
I did rewatch it.
Fair
It was on. I don't know if it was on Netflix. It was on something, and I was like, I'll revisit this.
Yeah, it's pretty. Man, it's still pretty
It
good.
holds up.
I honestly, I could be down for a remake.
Oh yeah, that's right for remake.
Yeah, get somebody like Robert Rodriguez, or even Zack Snyder.
Ooh.
To do this.
That is a perfect Zack Snyder vehicle.
I think it could be.
Perfect.
I think it could be. And then flesh out the story a little bit more.
Oh, yeah.
Give us we don't want too much because part of the beauty of the film is the mystery.
Oh, big time.
Is does it go to hell? Is it just, did staring into the abyss that this thing created
make these people just crazy?
Did it just make them nuts?
Exactly.
And energy and aura and all of that stuff. Is it just that, or is it some supernatural being, place that it has a lot of good questions?
Yeah, I mean, even Sam Neill's monologue at the end is really creepy when he's talking about like, I'm in her now, and da-da-da-da-da. Like, he plays it creepy, and man, I really want people to watch this, and I really want people to talk to us about this because I've heard the other side of this. I have heard that this movie is garbage.
Wow.
I have heard that this is the movie that jocks put on to scare their friends. Like, this movie's super deep, man. Da-da-da-da. Like, I don't get that at all.
No.
Like, I mean, yeah, the techno music sucks.
Well.
But whatever. I mean, you know what I don't know what version you watched, but was the how it ends and it cuts to the techno music? Was yours the funky crap by Prodigy?
Yeah, it was weird.
It's super scary. It's like, oh my god, that's the funky.
Yeah, it was so weird. Yeah, the end of the movie, like the last 30 minutes of the movie, feels like somebody else directed it.
Big time.
To be honest,
you can tell that the studio was on him. Like you said, you'd have it done in 2 months.
Let's get it done.
Yeah,
because it looks great. Yeah, it has that Geiger-esque ship design. Yeah. Very, like you said, very Alien One feel to it.
Yeah, and shining with what's around the corner. But again, an original idea pulled from other existing stuff, which you create something original out of that.
Wow.
And it's still, again, I think the practical stuff holds up great.
Yes.
CG, again, I will always say this, CG will always age. I don't care if you're Marvel or Event Horizon.
Yeah.
It's going to age.
Yeah.
Look at first Iron Man.
Yeah. Yeah, there's still some
little janky.
Little janky things, especially that end fight with the Ironmonger. There's some jank. It stinks of jank, alright?
I don't know, man. Like, I think I'm gonna have to rewatch this before October's over.
I think so. It is a good October movie. It is a good, just genuinely scary film. And if you haven't watched it, go check it out.
Yeah, we had to talk about this because there was the mythology behind this. This was, you remember when this came out, we were teenagers, and this was the movie you heard the older kids talking about.
Yes. It's taken me 22 years to watch this movie.
Right. And you couldn't YouTube clip anything.
Yeah.
So this was all like, this movie's really scary. Yeah. And again, a friend of ours owned a video, AJ's dad owned a video store, and so I remember getting it, and I think I watched it with AJ, and I think AJ was just like, meh.
Yeah.
But AJ's so outside, he's so focused, tapped into reality, it's hard for him to get scared, with movies.
I'd be curious to see what scares him. Probably The Big Short was really terrifying to him. Just financial crisis, Oh, God. These reverse mortgages, guys. All right, kids, that's our show for today. Thank you for tuning in. If you like what we're doing, please hit the subscribe button. Give us a like. Leave us a comment. Do you like Event Horizon? Is it one of your favorite scary movies? Give us some scary movie suggestions.
Yeah.
Like genuine scary movies, guys. I'm talking about, like, Event Horizon is a different beast all of its own.
Right.
You can check us out on Instagram at REC Podcast. If you like comic books, if you like action figures, if you like pictures of my family, check me out at Roman REC Podcast. And Eric's out in the wild.
Lurking in the shadows, kids.
Yeah, he's trying to work that Event Horizon in real life. All right, Eric, what did you learn today?
I think I should have watched this with you, man. I should have been there with you, man.
Yeah,
we should have went through this together, man.
Yeah, I was scared, but I don't want you to see me cry. In
Did
my
you
30s.
watch it by yourself?
I watched it by myself. Who am I going to watch it with? My wife doesn't want to watch scary movies. Yeah, just watch it with my oldest. Just really ruin her for that, you know. I learned that Eric should have also watched this with me because like I said, I stopped it twice. I almost didn't finish it. I posted something on Instagram and I was like, all right, guys, I'm going to do it. And then I almost tapped out again.
You did it
like
for
I said,
kids.
it has this primal fear in me.
It does.
And I'm glad that I conquered it. It was my Everest when it comes to horror films, and I am blood orgy bath anew. All right? Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I have been your host, Roman Chavez.
I'm still Eric Icarus.
And we will catch you next time.